Okay. So, as we all know, chanting the names of the Lord, let it be anyone, our own Ishta Devata, Kula Devata, or any Nama that we chant of the Lord, that is something which always takes away the grief, sorrow that we had, and we are showered with Bhagavan's grace. Any Nama if you chant. But still, specifically, if you see, it is said that chanting Krishna Namam, that is there, removes the grief and sorrow from one's life, and at the same time, that person is blessed with happiness and peace. Similarly, if we think of Lord Shiva also, our mind is filled with, you can say, our mind goes into a meditative state also. Similarly, if we think of Lord Rama also, we always think about Dharma, always moving on the right path, being very, very modest, following his duties and so on. Similarly, Goddess Durga, who is there, Shakti, is always symbolized as the Divine Mother. So like this, if you see, for each god we have a specific, you think of one god, it's like there is a garden, there are many flowers in that. So one garden is made beautiful by all flowers, right, by different varieties of flowers. Similarly, our heart which is there is like a garden also, which is filled with these beautiful flowers in the form of these nama that we chant. So Lord Krishna, who is there, is said to be a Purna Avataram or a Sampurna Avataram. The reason being he had the 16 qualities in them, right? Just as Valmiki also in the Ramayana reference asks you to Narada, you tell me about one person who has got all the qualities in him. That's when the Ramayana starts, and Narada gives the example of Vishnu, that is in the form of Rama. Now, let us look about one story. When the Lord was born, Krishna was born, he was in Gokula with Nandagopa and Yashoda Devi. That's when it seems that Lord Shiva is Parama Vaishnavaha, the greatest devotee of Vishnu. That's when he decides one day to go to Gokulam to get a darshana of the Lord in the form of a small baby. And that's when Lord Shiva enters Gokulam as an ascetic, as a sage also. And there are many bhajans also, songs also, which are sung covering this incident. And that's when it seems that Narada had become a witness to this incident. And when Lord Shiva was in the form of a sage and Lord Krishna is in the form of a small baby Krishna, but still both of them used to talk to each other as if both are each, you can say that for Shiva, the baby was the Lord, and for Krishna, the sage, that is Shiva in the form of the sage, was God, right? So that's when Narada has a doubt, and Lord Shiva declares that I was always Krishna's devotee only in whichever role he played. Let it be Rama Avataram. Rama Avataram, he always said, Ramaha Yasya Ishwaraha Rameshwaraha. And in Krishna Avataram also, now I have come to pray to the Lord. At this time, Krishna also, what he did was, he also smiled lovingly, and he also countered his point, saying that for me, Shiva is my God, I am the greatest devotee of Shiva. Again, Ramayana reference, Ramasya Ishwaraha Rameshwaraha. Now, listening to all this, Narada had tears in his eyes, it seems, and that's when he realized that this Krishna who is there is actually the servant or Dasaha, Bhakta Dasaha of his devotees. And from that day onwards, it seems that Lord Shiva, he gets the name God of Gods, we say, right? Devo ke Dev Mahadev. Similarly, and Krishna is known popularly in Uttara Bharatam, if you go, Bhakto ke Bhakt, that is the devotee of devotees. That's how this Nama comes for both Shiva as well as for Krishna. And looking at this Narada, why he sheds tears is, for people or human beings like you and me, we have so many conflicts that come in, right? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? Why should I worship this? Why am I doing certain rituals? Is that there are so many questions that come in. Moreover, I should worship this God, I should not worship that God. If I worship Shiva, I'll not go to Vishnu. If I go to Vishnu, I'll not go to Shiva, and so on. But there is nothing that is there in between the original gods who are there, let it be Shiva or let it be Krishna. So this is one very, very beautiful incident. One more story, if we look at, it talks about the Gopikas. Now, without the mention of the Gopikas, Krishna Leela always remains incomplete. Once it was decided by the Gopikas that let us all cook a nice feast or so for Bhagavan, and that's when they all assembled together after finishing all their household work. And it seems that making all the food in their own houses, they packed all that food and they went to the house of Nandagopa. And it seems that there were many people in Nandagopa's house, lot of guests had come. Bhagavan was sitting in between. And that's when it seems that the guests who were there, now Nandagopa and Yashoda Devi, they didn't know that the Gopikas are going to bring food for them, right? So they had already finished their dinner also. And at that time they felt a bit bad, it seems. They felt guilty also that they have bought so much, but we have already done with our dinner. And everyone thought that all these gopikas would become sad also, because all their efforts had gone wasted. But the gopikas, they were only looking for Lord Krishna, it seems. And after some time, it seems that they kept all the food items, vessels, everything down, and they started dancing here and there. And that's when Nandagopa, Yashoda, and all the other guests who were there, they were all shocked, saying that why these gopikas are dancing. In fact, all the food that they had bought, everything has gone waste, right? And that's when one person, it seems that he asked the gopika, saying that why are you becoming so happy also? That's when the gopikas, they said that while we were cooking this food, we were just thinking about one thing, that we kept on imagining the look of contentment or satisfaction that would come on Krishna's face once he would finish eating it. But what happened is, when we entered the house that is there, our eyes immediately fell on Krishna's face, and we found the same look of contentment, satisfaction. We don't need anything more than that. And it didn't matter for us whether whose food he ate or he did not eat what we made, or our efforts were wasted, because we all have lived, or in fact our only purpose of coming here and getting all the food was to see the contentment or the satisfaction on the Lord's face, and this has given us the biggest joy of our life. So in this, through these stories, what we say is very small story, a simple story, but what we get to know is the Lord who is there. If we have little bhakti towards the Lord ensures that he builds in more bhakti on us. And these gopikas were very, very lucky, and the example of the gopikas is something which helps devotees like you and me also to build in more bhakti towards the Lord. Yeah. Okay.